Hi friends, I hope you are keeping well. It's been a little while since my last video lesson. I've been super busy just jobbing around London playing this thing to tiny audiences in little jazz clubs, but I guess that's what I signed up for, right? And also kind of finishing off my teaching for the year and gosh, just kind of playing in hotels and wine bars and restaurants and all the stuff that us jazzers do to pay the bills. So forgive me for the big gap between lessons, but today's one is going to be a banger, I promise. We are going to learn a really simple concept that hopefully will allow you to improvise a little bit more in a way that sounds a bit more like jazz. So this is really aimed for guitarists and not just guitarists, any other instrumentalists, welcome. You are welcome here, this is a safe space. Who have decided to kind of get into jazz, and for whatever reason, all of that chord scale stuff, the advanced harmonic stuff, the diminished scale patterns that they've been learning, all of that kind of stuff sounds really cool, but perhaps doesn't kind of sound like this sort of that kind of bebop-y stuff that we associate with Charlie Parker, with Bud Powell, guitarist wise with Jimmy Rainey and Joe Pass and all these wonderful musicians. So, because I think, like, you can sit there and wait for your C minor chord, here it comes, way, and then play your C minor lick. But we want to be able to improvise this sort of stuff ultimately. So today we're going to look at a really, really useful exercise for you to work on. I think if you do this a lot, you will start to be able to do the sort of stuff that I was just doing there, and other people do much better. So we are going to take our simple 1-6-2-5 chord progression in B flat, 2 flats. And we are going to look at how to improvise through that using chord tones and embellishing those chord tones and linking them together. So for now, I want you to just put aside all the chord scale stuff that you've learned. It is all relevant. I don't subscribe to the theory of like, don't learn that, only learn this. The more learning we can do, the better, the more a rounded musician we'll be. And things have moved on. It's not 1945 anymore. It's not the bebop era. It's also not the 50s, it's not the 70s. So we want to be a well-rounded musician who is able to do lots of different things. But here we're talking perhaps about a very specific idiom. And to play that idiom, I think this is a really good way in. So we are going to look at chord tones. This is a guide tone exercise, so we're going to look at chord tones from that sequence. So on the 1 chord, let's start at the 3rd. Let's go an octave higher, I think. Yeah, all the way up there, down to the 5th. On the 6th chord, on the G7, we're going to go root, 3rd. On the 2 chord, root, 7th, 3rd. On the F, root on the F. That's nice. Yeah, lovely. So even me just doing that without any reference bass notes or chords or anything, hopefully you can kind of start to hear that there's a chord sequence at work. All we're going to do is we're going to take that and we're going to improvise with it. The first thing you're going to do, actually before the first thing, is just for guitarists, I would just sit and just kind of try and work out almost like a little chord melody version of that, just to help get it under my fingers, into my ears, and also to think about some of the other possibilities and the other substitutions. So I might just do that for a second. I might go like, yeah, really begging for that, isn't it? That's nice. Yeah. Sit there for a few minutes doing that. Okay, first thing you're going to do, this is now the first thing you're going to do, non-guitarists. Guitarists, that was the first thing you're going to do. You're going to improvise rhythmically using those notes. That's it. That's your brief. They're going to hopefully fall in the right place. I'm going to do that a couple of times, and then I'll play through the sequence for you to do that. So, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You'll go. Couple more. Great, that's the idea. I'm sure it sounded amazing. So that's quite profound, isn't it? Right, we've taken a really simple thing. We've taken literally just notes from the chords. Notes from the chords, not even extensions, nothing flash. Literally, I think there's a seventh in there, right? Everything else is triad, and there's a lot of roots. But we are freeing ourselves up. So we're not just playing it on the beat, we're improvising. And that improvisation, like where you'll want to put that, will be informed by the stuff you listen to, the stuff you transcribe, the rhythmic language that you pick up through playing with lots of people. This is not just an immediate thing. Okay, this gets informed by what you do and how much you immerse yourself in this world. Next thing we're going to do is just look at linking those notes together, perhaps just by a note above, a note below, above and below, something like that. So we might call that an enclosure, or a little twiddly bit. Yeah, that's it. So again, rhythmically free, and we're just approaching each note. Some things will sound great and some won't. And again, that will be informed by your own listening and who you love to kind of, who you love to listen to. So I'm going to do a couple, and again, I'll play some chords for you. 1, 2, 3. You'll go. I'll do one. One more. So, hopefully that is starting to sound a little bit like jazz. We're aiming, like I think of it as like I'm aiming for that chord tone, and how can I embellish it so it doesn't just sound like blang. Next thing you're going to do, this is where it should start to sound a bit more like this beautiful music that we love, is to join those things together melodically. Perhaps as a stream where possible of quavers, eighth notes. So I'll try that, and then we'll do it. Let's do this a little bit slower. And this is the kind of thing actually you might want to have some pre-worked out licks that will help you kind of hear it, and then again in time you'll be able to do it. I'll go first. I'm going to do a couple, then you're going to try and do the same. We'll go a bit slower. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do a couple. that is something to spend a lot of time with. But the point is the more you do it, the easier it gets, and you will start to be able to improvise this stuff. So this, for me, is like a core thing when I'm practicing, is joining these chord tones together. And then, like I say, the way that I do that is informed by who I listen to, who I'm transcribing, the other musicians I play with on my scene. That is a kind of a hugely important thing, and something that can't be learned in isolation. So in other words, if I'm playing on a gig and I hear a sax player play something cool, I'm going to try and remember what it was, or I might ask them. You can ask. Say, what was that thing you played there? And then that will hopefully work its way into my playing. The thing is, this, like I said, this is very idiomatic. This is a way of playing. And this isn't just bebop. This is like Bach did this. He knew about all this stuff a long time ago. You know, there. He's aiming for chord tones. It's the same language. And we got to find a way of doing that melodically. But in jazz, we want to be improvising this as well. And that's kind of mad, isn't it? But it can be done. And then all you got to do is just speed it up, be able to do it in different keys, all that sort of stuff. Learning a ton of tunes will also help that. So I hope this lesson has been of benefit to you. My watch has just given me a little warning. It's told me that I need to move. So I need to move. Fantastic. It's been great teaching you this today. I hope that helps. Any questions, drop them in the comments. Please do like and subscribe. I'm going to be building this channel up over the coming weeks, months and years. And also do have a look at my website. I've got a few gigs coming up in the area. I'm doing a lovely little mini tour, the Kent Coast, with my good friend Jamie Taylor, wonderful guitar player. That's coming up at the end of July. So if you're in the area, please do come along and have a listen and say hello. All right, see you soon. Thank you.